I'll be happy to try and answer.
I'll go ahead and ask a question. I wondered if you'd speak a little bit about codependency in relationships and looking to the love from others rather than sourcing it.
Well, the best way to get love from others is to learn how to truly love yourself. And I don't mean in an egotistical way, but in a way in which you truly are grateful for the life you're living. You're truly happy with the things you do in your life, the people in your life. And when you attain that kind of inner ability, it's no longer codependency. You will attract somebody who truly loves you and is truly willing to support you in your life. And you are not emotionally dependent upon them because you have a connection with higher energy in the universe. So the love is truly unconditional love. And, you know, no matter what happens, you're capable of letting go. You're capable of never determining how somebody else is supposed to function. And it starts with liking oneself, loving oneself, living with the heart open, having balance inside oneself, having the security in oneself, you know, that one is worthy of being a happy person, no matter what happens in the world, no matter what other people bring to you and do, and that you don't spend your life with this kind of codependency that emotionally drains, you know, whoever is involved in life that way. It's real independence because you are connected to higher energy in the universe. You have built a system that allows God, spirit, higher energy to guide your life. And your life isn't dependent upon, you know, the will of another human being. And when you have that ability, you'll find people will love you. They'll love you because of who you are, not because of what they want to extract from you. Now, this is not an easy thing to do because literally from the moment we're born, we're taught to be codependent. So it's a matter of transforming all of those old habits in oneself and getting to a place where you just say to yourself, you are capable of loving yourself. You are capable of saying, I am worthy of having a happy life. And whether I'm by myself or I'm with somebody else, I will have a happy life. I don't need other people to create happiness for me. If I create it in my heart and learn how to live with it deep within myself. The way to do that is build a system inside that's connected to higher energy in the universe. It's real kind of a freedom here, you know, because most people's relationships are codependent. People emotionally clutch to each other, cling to each other, you know, and that will never create a healthy relationship.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that helped. Look, I've been through enough of this codependency myself, and it took time to build a system that says, no, I'm dependent on God. I'm dependent on maintaining my connection with higher energy, and that will enable me to be a happy person, no matter what goes on. in my life. And what goes on in the world, for God's sake? And then you can give somebody that joy and that love. If they want to take it, then you have a wonderful relationship, and especially if they can give it back to you. I mean, this is a hard subject because it affects everybody, you know? And ultimately, it affects everybody because people have not learned how to be happy no matter what goes on in their life. Good, bad, indifferent. It doesn't mean we have to close our hearts. And it doesn't mean it has to strip us of joy and love inside ourselves and a connection with higher energy in the universe. Does anyone else have a question they would like to
ask? Stuart?
Yes.
Many of us are raised with the understanding that to be truly happy, we have to have a sense of achievement or accomplishment in life or material success. Now, how do we transform that into having a deep knowing that higher energy will take care of that, that if we just let things happen?
No, look, we don't just let things happen, Larry. We work at building a system that enables these things to happen. We work at developing an inner life that is strong enough to keep us permanently connected with God. And we stop living. I mean, look, I was raised that way. You're going to be happy if you become a doctor and have a house in Scarsdale with a white picket fence, a 3-car garage, and 22 television sets. That was going to make you happy. I was raised that way. And it was everything my family didn't have. But that was going to make me happy. And I finally realized that was not going to make me happy. Because look, I live in Connecticut. You take a drive through, the little cities and towns around here. It's a really wealthy place. A really wealthy place. People live in mansions, estates. It's fantastic. But that the drama and the soap operas that go on in every one of those houses are not really happy people. I know because I lived in Woodstock. I had a 7,000 square foot house. 7,000 square foot house, and a gorgeous house. It was an absolute architectural masterpiece, this house. And I'll never forget, having the difficulties with the marriage I was in, the problems, all the situations, and I won't get into it, but one day I had a very dramatic thing happen and some people came and they looked and they realized that nothing really was happening and they said, okay. And I looked at them, I said, you buy a house like this for your wife to live in, your family to live in, doesn't make them happy. They have to learn to be happy inside themselves. And that is the key. And all this crap that we're fed when we're younger, the money, the clothes, the cars, it's just all delusional. If you're happy inside yourself, you're happy when you're by yourself, you're happy, you can have great wealth, you can have no wealth. I mean, some of the most happy people I ever met lived in little villages in India. And you look in their eyes and there was a twinkle in their eyes and joy inside them and love, and they were kind and giving and, they had nothing. And then Rudy, who owned literally blocks of buildings in New York City. And he told me one day, he said, what keeps him going is he hopes that he can work through this and get to a place where, like Nityananda, you can go to sleep on a potato sack. This is what he told me. He said, when I met Nietzsche, he went to sleep on a potato sack. I dream of having that kind of simplicity in my life. I mean, it's total surrender. You can be free if you have a great deal of money. You can be free if you have nothing. And all this stuff we're fed when we're children, oh, you gotta do this and that, and the money and the money and the money and the money. You know, money is all right. I've had plenty of money in my life. It made for a good life, but it didn't make me happy. What made me happy was building an internal life that connected me with God. That's what made me a happy person. And I've had nothing in my life, and I've had a great deal. I'm talking, I've lived in places that were spectacular, mansion. And what made me happy was none of it. What made me happy and truly appreciative of my life and grateful for even a glass of water and a cup of tea was having my heart open, was having done deep spiritual work that connected me to God. And then a cup of tea was like, you know, I mean, you know, Jennifer makes breakfast here, and to me, it's just an absolute joy. It's a joy. I don't need to have 6 maids and 5, the simplicity of it, the love that's in it, you know?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. There's a difficult, it's like the question that Leisha asked. These are difficult questions, codependency, what makes you happy in life? We live in a world that everybody struggles for the objective world to make them happy. Nobody's happy. There's got to be a reason for that. You know, to find a happy person on the earth is like finding the Holy Grail. I made it. To find one happy person on the earth. Why? Because everybody thinks it's out there, and it's not. It's in here. And this means a transformation of our entire inner lives. I mean it. And how do you do it? You got to build a system inside that is enabled to connect with the real treasure, the real thing that creates inner joy and love and happiness. It's a connection with God, higher energy, whatever you want to call it. If you want a codependency, let that be your codependence. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, then there'll be a meditation on Thursday. God bless you all, and thank you for being here, for being part of this, for giving me an opportunity to really grow, literally every day of my life. So thank you, and hopefully I'll see you all on Thursday. Bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.